Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday. And I got a smile on my face because this Whiteboard Wednesday so far is being extremely well received. And that is giving me a lot of confidence to keep pushing and keep going on. In fact, this has been so extremely well received that I've got it on my screensaver. I don't know who said this, but someone said, love these raw videos, Bezos. Make sure you're consistent with these Whiteboard Wednesdays. That is the screensaver on my phone. When you put comments like that, I find strength in that. Because listen, I'm just a human being just like you, bro. I've got my life, I've got like 100 different things that are going on in life, bro. And sometimes you forget, sometimes you don't, you know what I mean? And I need strength, so I do find strength in everything that you guys have been saying out here. But let's get straight into it. So today we're really going to learn something important, and it's something that I've learned recently. The thing is, we all know it, but it's something I've learned recently, and I've been able to really grasp it. And I actually struggled to put what the title was, but the title is removing the weak mental, removing the weak mental, removing the weak mental. And let me just put it this way: like I just said earlier, look, we're all human beings and we all struggle with things. Let me just put this behind me. We're all human beings and we all struggle with things. We're not perfect, and we all fail, and we always want more in life. We always want, we all want more in life. But the thing is, we know that it's difficult for us to achieve the things that we want to achieve, and the reason why is because of your failure to download the correct mentality. It's it's not even that. It's the fact that you download the weak mentality. So that's it. Like, guys, let's take it back to look, this is the only first example I can think of. Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were two perfect human beings created by God. The only reason why everything went to kaput is because Eve let the snake say something to her and she downloaded the weak mental. You understand? So you need to know how to remove the weak mental if you want to achieve. And look, every great person, this successful man, whoever's existed in this life. Look, there's one thing I always like saying to people, bro. What difference is there between me and Steve Jobs? Between me and me and Steve Jobs. We both got two arms, two hands, two legs, and one brain. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. There's no difference between me and him. We both have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference has to be then, because it has to be. There is no other organ in our bodies that can be manipulated. The only organ that can be manipulated is the brain. I can't grow an extra long finger. I can't grow any taller. I mean, I can get my body to move a little bit stronger. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but there's a limit to that. How much I can build my body up. But there is almost no limit to how much you can increase your brain capacity. There is no limit. So if you download a weak mentality and weak information, then you're gonna listen. You're only going to produce whatever you sow, you will reap. So if you're putting into your system weakness, what's gonna flow out is weakness. So life is very simple. If you're looking around your life and things aren't working the way you want it to work, very simply, it's because you've downloaded a weak mental. And you know what? I think ego stops so many people from going to the high level, because a lot of people don't want to believe. What happens with a lot of people is that they don't want to believe that they've downloaded the weak mental, and they want to pass the blame over to someone else. That's why they'll say it's the government's fault. That's why they'll say it's so and so's fault. They're always passing the blame, because they don't want to take accountability for what they've downloaded, and they want to say that somebody else has given them that. And look, yes, although somebody else has given you that weak mentality, but it was up to you to download it. Something that a lot of people don't know is, how do you remove it? How do you remove it? Listen, in fact, let's step back. We talked about Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk's, and Bill Gates of the world. The reason why they're where they are is because they've mastered. And listen, they're also getting weak mentality too. But what they've mastered is they've mastered the ability to understand that whatever they produce, and if it's not producing what they want, it means that they've downloaded the weak mentality, and they've understood that they need to then input a new mentality. And this is why, listen, that's why I say life is about iterations. Like, that's my quote. Life is about iterations. Let's put BB. Life is about iterations. Life, if you don't know what an iteration is, you can Google it, or I could just quick Google search. But iterations meaning. Life is about iterations, says the repetition of a process or utterance. But or a better definition is a new version of a piece of computer hardware or software. So life is about iterations. Look, this is one of my favorite examples. iOS or the iPhone. The first ever, when Apple released the iPhone, that wasn't the only iPhone they released. iOS 1 wasn't the only operating system that they released. But what I find fascinating is that a lot of people operate on life thinking that the operating system that they have right now is the operating system that should just work for everything in life. No, iOS is on like iOS 16 now or 17, and it will continue to keep getting updated over and over and over, because they're always finding bugs, they're always finding things that work and don't work. And life is exactly the same. You have to learn to download a new operating system continuously, and you have to keep learning how to update yourself, because if you don't, then you're old. It's that simple. If we all stuck on iOS 3, we'd be like, this is old, you know what I mean? This is old. And it doesn't matter about outward appearance. That's why I'm a really big advocate for I'm a really big advocate. You have to upgrade all areas of your life. Some people just want to upgrade their outward appearance, but then look, you might look good in the world, but when life really hits you and push comes to shove, and I can speak from experience here, you're not gonna last, because your outward experience might look good, you might look like the top G, you might look like the top dog, but because inside the weak mentality that you haven't upgraded it, you haven't updated it, you haven't applied the iterations, you're not gonna last. And the top G's of this world, the people who really know how to excel in life, they've really learned how to upgrade their iterations. They've really learned how to update themselves both inside and outwardly. And if trust me, if you just focus on inside, the outwardly will match. But yeah, life is about iterations. Life is about iterations, constantly updating and upgrading yourself. Understand that you are not the final version. You're nowhere near the final version. Like, however old you are, think about it like an iOS update. If you had to think about your age, I'm 23. I'm on iOS 23. If I'm supposed to live till 50 years, that's iOS 50, bro. And look at the iPhone. Isn't there a drastic difference between iOS 1 and iOS 7? Isn't there a drastic difference between iPhone 6 and iPhone 10? And that's only 4 iterations. If you think about your life like an iPhone, look at how drastically they can change the iPhone over a 3-year period. Or an even a better example is think about life like cars. They have the MK1, MK2. That cars update after 7 years. The actual whole shapes of it. It just came back to me. So a fantastic example of. This is why this is going to tie everything really together. Today, I had to do something with my SD card. I don't know if any of you guys have done it, but I had to format my SD card because I had to do it on someone else's new laptop because I've never formatted an SD card before. And in order to format an SD card, guess what you have to do? You have to delete the information that's already on the SD card in order for it to download new information. So just like technology, humans work the same way. In order for you to download new pieces of information, in order for you to work on the correct hardware in life, a lot of you want to work with the best hardware. In order for you to work on new things that are going to upgrade and advance your life, sometimes you need to delete old pieces of information in order to download new ones. It's called it's called formatting. That's my word for it. We call it formatting. You have to delete old pieces of information to download new ones. That's something that some people don't do. Some people, and I can speak for myself, you download new pieces of information on top of your old ones, and that is where things get messy, bro. Things get very, very, very messy, because then you don't know how to distinguish between your old and new information, and things get very, very, very confusing. Now and that can be perfectly broken down into these diagrams right here. Look, so what happens is you start with your thesis. So your thesis is your original idea, your original beliefs. Let me just, this is just explaining how you get new information, how new information comes to pass. So this is your original idea, this is your original belief, this is whatever you believe now. Now, in order for this to change, then you have the antithesis. The antithesis is that new piece of information. It's that new piece of information that's come into your brain and made you made you think differently. That's the antithesis stage. After antithesis, then we have synthesis. Synthesis is that new belief that you have now. It's the new belief you have. Before you believed that Santa was real, then someone showed you proof that he was not real. Now you no longer believe in Santa. You understand? That's what it is. That's what it is. It is here right now, and I think it's just so important that you identify the belief that you currently hold, and you have to swap it, man. You have to have the antithesis come in and really break that old belief. And then you have synthesis of new belief. And look, this what I'm about to tell you now, and I'm going to describe this diagram here, is the real game changer for me, because I think a lot of people understand this. A lot of people understand what's going on here. A lot of people understand that you need new information to change your mind, and you're probably just thinking blah 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 blah. But I think this is where people miss the boat. This is where people miss the boat, because I don't think people understand. And you know what, I might say the quote, this takes time, but it's deeper than that. Let me tell you, the reason why it takes so long is because of your memory. Even though how beautiful and magnificent our brains are, there's one thing that we're not good at. We're not actually very good at remembering things. Ego again, because a lot of you think that you remember everything, but you don't. What did you eat 2 weeks ago for breakfast? You don't know. Tell me, you don't know. What did you eat? What did you eat on the 20th of July? 20th of May, 2023 for breakfast? You probably don't know. You don't know, because do you even know? Do you even know? Do you even know what you did yesterday at 3 p.m. exactly? Yesterday, no, you probably don't. So that's where us humans lack. Us humans, we don't understand the relationship between memory, time, and effect. We don't understand. We don't understand the relationship, the relationship of all these things, because. Why that's not red. And let me just say it briefly. The reason why I say you don't understand the relationship is the fact that, look, when you get that new information, what you don't understand is that as time goes on, that information is being the memory for that information is the moment you learn something new, the moment you're listening to this video right now, after a few hours, it's like there's a ticking time bomb of it escaping your brain. Remember, your brain is like a computer, in a sense where on an iPhone or on anything, they pop up this message and say, hey, you've got some old pictures that you haven't been using from XYZ long time ago. Do you want to delete them? Your brain works the exact same way. Any information that it's not being used, it wants to delete. It doesn't want to waste space and energy. So as time goes on, it's being deleted. And this is why I say that when you have the thesis come in, when thesis comes in, it's like a ticking time bomb. It's getting reduced lower and lower, lower and lower and lower. But you see, what people don't understand is that new information that you did get, it is actually having an effect, but you just can't see it because you don't remember it. There is an effect that's happening. That's why as time goes on, an effect happens. And the thing where we all lack is, where it really messes up for all of us is that the effect comes to pass, but because you don't know how that effect came to pass, you mistake it for something else and you get worried about it. So, like it's bizarre. It's bizarre, especially when it comes to business. Like you learned something, you did something, and because you forget what you did all those years ago, then when it all comes to pass, when all that comes to pass, when the fruits of your labor are seen, some of you might not understand this if you've never had business success, but you're like, whoa, where did this come from? Where did this come from? Where did all this money just come from? All of a sudden, just like that. And you're shocked, you're astounded, you're worried. You're like, what's going on? What's going on? And sometimes you feel like, I'm not meant for this. That's where this imposter syndrome comes from. This is where this imposter syndrome comes on. Like, you can get so much from this imposter syndrome. This is where this imposter syndrome comes from, because you forgot the things that you did to get to where you got to, and now you have the effect for them. And then now you feel like, do I really deserve this? That's where this imposter syndrome comes from. And that's why I also said that this also ties into the fact that when you have now new information, your synthesis, the new belief that you have that's going to advance you, just like this information I'm going to tell you right now. When you stack it with your old belief, when you stack it with your old beliefs, if you really haven't identified that old belief, and if you now stack it with your old wrong beliefs, it's like stacking an iOS 16 update onto an iOS 4 update. Imagine seeing some things that are iOS 16 and some things which are iOS 4. It doesn't make any sense. Sometimes you might revert back to that iOS 4 update because that just worked better for you. You understand? You want to, you hear some people talk about, I really wish the Nokia days, I missed the BlackBerry days because it was just so simple. It was just so simple, just so easy. But you can't stack old beliefs with new beliefs. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And that's why a lot of people get confused. You're stacking old beliefs with new beliefs because you forgot the new beliefs that you put in, and you forgot to take out the old beliefs. To really put this simply, you need a system in your life. A lot of people are just winging life. You're just winging. How you can't wing life. These people who are at the top of the game, they don't wing life. There's a system in the way you go about things. And a lot of people think that, especially in business, if you're watching this, especially in business, you all think that you need a system in your business, a system in your business, a system in your academics, or a system in with your car. Most people understand the different systems in life, but why don't you understand the system for your own mind? And look, take everything away from yourself. What do you really have with you? Take your phone away, take your bank account away, take your career away, take your academics, take even your family, take everything that quote unquote belongs to you. What are you really left with? You're only left with your mind. So why isn't that the main focus of your life? Your mind should be the main focus of your life. You should be studying your mind, studying how it works, and studying how you can create systems that can make your mind and your life better. Because it all starts with the mind. Think and grow rich. It all starts up here. Everything starts here. So why is it that you have a system for how you learn you get better in education in your university? Why is it that for 20 years we learn a system in order to go to university, and a system in order to at school in order to quote unquote learn new things? Why is it that was a whole system that we developed there for 20 years? Why is it that you can't spend 20 years of your life learning the system of your brain? Why is it? Some people will look at me crazy because I'm learning something like this, but I'm looking at you crazy because you're not learning this, man. It's bizarre. And I just got started, man. I've just got started with all this. This is just the beginning of all this. Next episode, we'll drop something else as well. We'll go deeper. We'll go deeper into cause and effect. And maybe on next Whiteboard Wednesday. But just in clarification, life is about iterations. Old information, old info, new info, old belief, current belief, new information, new belief, And the reason why this kind of gets messed up sometimes is because when new belief comes and the effect comes, we forget about it because of our memory. Remove that weak mentality from your mind. Download a strong one. Remove the weak and download a strong one. Understand the mind is a beautiful thing. Anyway, beautiful for you guys catching me here, man, for this Whiteboard Wednesday. Appreciate you guys doing it. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep posting. We're going to keep staying consistent. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.